Under these fields lies part of Cornwall's secret history. During the Second World War, resistance groups were set up all over the country to sabotage German operations should they invade. In Cornwall, networks of underground passageways built for the mining industry provided the perfect hiding place. The farmer who owns this land near Hale has grown up among rumours of a secret army base at the bottom of Wheal Merth. Now he's called in West Cornwall's Mine Rescue Group to find out once and for all if they're true.
I've always been fascinated to know what's down there. You look around here, we've got a lot of trouble with mines dropping away. If you get prolonged dry weather or wet weather, they get a shaft drop away. It's always been fascinating to know what was down there.
Descend in!
Down 80 feet into the unknown.
Must have took some building to right, shaft to surface. We will now proceed into the mine itself to see if we can find anything of any interest. Over. Could be interesting after all, doesn't it?
Making our way along the tunnels, it wasn't long before one of the team spotted something. The remains of a mask. Maybe a disguise.
Yeah, over here. A disguise mask.
As we worked our way further into the warren of tunnels, more proof.
So what is interesting, look. My imagination was that say grenade.
Yep, grenades.
Right, have you seen this?
Okay. Oh yeah, that looks interesting.
An explosive.
Yeah. What's the state that would?
And there's another box here that says grenade on. Okay, we've got more here, look. 12 debts.
Oh yeah.
And look at this one. Gun, MOD.
As well.
We had established a weapons store, but no sign of the men who used them.
I tell you what, whatever door was on it was
heavy.
Substantial.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look at this as well. Or they might have even used it as an alarm cable.
It was becoming clear we were getting nearer our goal. Spurred on, we now had to negotiate dangerous obstacles.
Right, ready?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, these people who was down here, it's quite possible they was using this, you know, for boiling, especially, and washing in and things like that. If you are carrying fresh water in, what better than to have a local water source for your washing and everything else?
See if we can find some proof then that they were boiling water and...
Yeah. Well, so far we haven't found any proof of living, only proof of the fact that people have been here, isn't there? Didn't see that.
Not long before we did.
Oh, that's handsome, look at that. In the kitchen, open it, Dave, quick. Looks like I found a bed here.
I think we've got some graffiti here.
What have you found there, Rog?
Won't you come,
Hey, Rog, remember the song?
Bill?
Won't you come home, Bailey?
The Bailey's missing, but
yeah, it is.
When we got back to the surface, someone had come to see what all the fuss was about. Someone who'd been keeping a secret since childhood.
My father was a captain of the resistance group, really. Only they were called home guard as far as everybody knew in the area. On this one, I understood they had 4 escape routes anyway. One was Carbis Bay, one was down the valley, the shaft, and another one down Snurthway somewhere.
He wasn't the only one who knew of the existence of the secret army. During the war, Bert Hamnett worked for the radio security services, who were in contact with the resistance. 50 years on, and Bert can share information that would have been a breach of the Official Secrets Act.
It was used to stockpile food and ammunition for a unit of the so-called secret army, who were there to cause havoc if we were ever occupied during the war. The British government knew very well that the Germans were assembling an invasion fleet, and it was aimed to strike at the east coast as being a soft target, but also other units were to try and cut off the West Country, especially Plymouth, because of the military value of both Plymouth and Falmouth harbours. In the main, they were personnel of the Home Guard. The Home Guard was set up all over the country to defend the country as such. They were given military training, issued with arms and ammunition to a limited extent, and they got full military training on use of hand grenades and light machine guns, rifles and things like that. Well, they had an officer in charge who, wherever possible, was somebody with local knowledge or came from the area, and then they recruited local people who they thought would be useful, who got knowledge on the ground, such as local farmers, postmen, and people like that.
Yeah, this was definitely some kind of underground, that old white galvanised Harrison unit, really, that would go out, do a bit of damage if the Germans had landed.
It never came to that, and 10 years after the war, the secret army was stood down. But its members kept their secrets, and while we found conclusive proof that these groups were ready for action, we'll never know what it was they had in store for the enemy.
Well, that's the Cornish, isn't it? Locals, they keep it to themselves because everybody was involved, so therefore they would have kept it quiet. I knew the locals that were in it, but I think they're all gone past on now. I don't think there's any living.
Why not come and get it over with? But still,
Yeah. Looks like this is a field in Winds.